Hi everyone, it's me, your girl, the Kinky Witch. How are we doing today? Today we're coming through with guidance from the divine, from spirit, from the ethers, right? Today we're getting guidance on the things we should do, put into practice, go after, whatever comes out, guys, for this new spring time. Right? This is the start of the new year, right? Ostara, the beginning of spring, the beginning of the seasonal year, not the calendar year. Divine Mother, Father, God, angels, ancestors, and guides, what is your guidance for us on how we should navigate during this Ostara? What are the energies we should reach for? And what guidance do you have on how we should move forward with the earthly, mundane aspects of our lives? I ask that you allow me to see and say all that I must. And I pray that you show me clearly the messages that you impart to us. In your divine name, I pray. Amen, amen, amen. Okay, we're going to look at plant medicine, guys, okay? And I'm going to use a very special deck. It's called Dreams of Gaia Tarot. To clarify, it's a tarot deck, but it's very auricular. And I used it before. I have the bigger normal version. This little version I have, and Spirit wants me to explain this. This little version I have is missing the King of Fire. And I was guided to use it. And I was like, Spirit, but the king is missing, right? Like, if the queen, it's just, what if the energy of the king wants to come out? And very clearly, Spirit says, you say Divine Mother, Father. Why is this image not sufficient to represent the energies of both masculine and feminine, right? And it threw me for a while. But then I understood what Spirit was saying. I think in our human experience, we get so caught up in the polarities, right? Male, female, man, woman, right? And he, she, you understand what I'm saying? That divine masculine, divine feminine. And, sometimes it confuses people because, so often I hear tarot readers have to say, you could be a man and this divine feminine energy applies to you, right? It's energy, it's not actual physiology. So that's why, guys, this is going to be our king and queen of fire, of wands, because it's energy, not physiology. And so, if I'm quite honest, I may take out the kings out of this deck. Okay, they said no. I'll leave it. All right, so let's start with the Earthcrafter Oracle. Divine, what messages do you have for us? Let's let let's let nature talk. Let's let Gaia talk. Let's let Ostara talk. What is your guidance for your children, Divine, in this new spring time of our life? Ooh. Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason, Spirit. So we're using that deck and we're going to move forward. And that the Queen is going to be indicative of both the divine feminine and masculine, right? There's a reason. There's a reason. One more, please. Thank you very much. Okay. It didn't flip all the way, but they clearly said take it. Ooh. Yep. Yep. Yeah. All right, guys. The first card that came out is You Are Sacred, number 44. You are sacred. The divine wants you to know that we need to start pouring into ourselves, cherishing ourselves. And I almost said worshiping ourselves, but that makes it sound vain, right? But to be honest, that's the energy that wants to come out. You need to worship you. You need to love on you. You need to cherish you, right? You need to build you up, right? Put it here. I'm trying to see which way I need to go, guys. Bear with me while I figure this out. Right here, Spirit. Okay. So at the center of this reading, the energy here is Spirit saying, you are sacred. It's time to love you, to cherish you. It's time to see your value, to see your worth, right? And not the value and worth that people put on us from their standpoint, but the value and worth you place on yourself, right? I'm getting very heavily here, like your aesthetic, your mannerisms, what is unique to you. Let that shine. Because by letting that shine, you hold yourself sacred and you're not trying to change. You're not trying to change who you are. This the sacred spiral is they just kind of drew my attention to it, right? How she's pointing to this sacred spiral, it's kind of giving me universal, galactic, right? And all the spiral orbs. So this is, and this brings us closer, is what I'm hearing, to the divine energy. Because when you love you, you love the divine in you. When you cherish you cherish the divine in you. We are created in their image, right? The Bible said that. The Bible never said his. There's no singularity because it's divine, masculine, feminine, man, woman, right? The dichotomous energy of the divine, masculine and feminine, is here. So you need to, however you show up in the world, hold that as sacred. Do not try to change who you are for other people. And I'm getting, and I'm going to use this because it's like a out of the box, but you'll get it. If you love heavy metal and you're black, it's okay. Right? If you're Jamaican and you love country music, it's okay. Right? If you're Korean and you love Bollywood, you love Nollywood, it's okay. That's the energy I'm getting. And I'm making those very distinct because that spirit is saying, I want you guys to understand it's okay to be you, to love what you want, to cherish yourself, to honor yourself, and not feel the need to be confined. So, the energy that is coming through here for this Ostara is valuing you, putting you on the pedestal, giving yourself that divine feminine, masculine, the divine treatment, period. Giving yourself the divine treatment is what they're saying to me. Don't focus and don't care too much, right? On what type of energy shows up, as long as it's the divine energy. Tap into that. The orb here around the crown. Not gonna lie to y'all, when I look at it, it looks like a bonnet to me, and I low key love it. But I understand that's a halo, and around the crown, it's telling me that you're going to go through downloads. You're going to have downloads, upgrades. You're going to be going into a very meditative state when you're, taking care of you. Self-care, 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 self-care. 44 breaks down to an 8. This is an 8 universal year. So I feel like we're going to keep seeing this showing up where spirit doubles down on, right, the season of change, the season of karmic, um the season of karma, right? The season of creating the infinite. Because remember, karma doesn't mean you're receiving karma only, right? Karma means you're creating as well. So you could be making changes that are going to vibrate throughout generations or carry over with you into your next lifetimes in this moment. Okay? The next one is Spirit of the South, right? And this is fire energy, 32, 5. Something needs to be broken down. The phoenix is rising. This is what this says to me. 32 breaks down to 5, which is change, right? Fire energy is coming through. That heat is coming through to say, like the phoenix, still I rise. But the phoenix dies at birth. If you know the phoenix, you know the phoenix dies, and in that dying, the phoenix is reborn. So whatever needs to be burnt away, or whatever needs to die so that you can be reborn, is doing so. So at the center of your reading, Spirit is saying, right, take care of your sacred self. You're sacred, you're divine. So whatever old emotions, old mentalities around who you should be, old behaviors, and anything that didn't serve you in the past is dying off of you, right? Remember, we have to choose these energies, but with the halo around her crown, I'm getting that we are choosing this energy. We are choosing to change. We are choosing to upgrade ourselves. We are choosing to move forward and let the old pieces of us die away, right? Also, this fire energy is giving me go energy. So if you're working on something, you're creating something, you're trying to put something out there, do so. Whether it's content, whether you're writing a book, a movie, a screenplay, whether you're a composer, whatever it is you do, whether you're a carpenter, a mason, metal worker, I'm getting it does not matter what you do. If you're working on something, if you're working on launching something, if you're working on creating something that will serve a purpose for people, whether if it suits the spiritual needs or the earthly physical needs, go forward, move forward. Now is the time for you to put action behind what you need to do. Remember, Ostara isn't just about, the rebirth of like the land. It's also the rebirth of you, and you're a part of the land. And what do you do at rebirth, or what do you do at birth? You're creating something new, you're bringing it into fruition. So you are bringing what you've been working on into fruition. All right. The next one we have is Medicine Woman, and it's 17, and this breaks down to 8. So for me, guys, girls, gals, witchlets, I'm gonna start calling y'all witchlets. Because listen, it just collective isn't vibrating or resonating. Um, Guys, girls, I can't be bothered going through the whole trope. Um, and I say that lovingly because it gets tongue tied for me. You know, everybody's welcome here. I love everyone, right? So my little witchlets, my little kinksters. No, I can't say that. I'm definitely not calling y'all that. Nope, we're pulling that one back. Um, Spirit is bringing through the energy of healing. and it very much ties in here. So Ostara is bringing through healing, but plant healing. So turn to your plant allies, right? Turn to your plant allies just so that you can benefit from the medicine that they are prescribing for us, right? I'm trying to fix the light real quick. Hold on, guys. This medicine woman is on the periphery and she ain't showing right. Okay, it's all right. Turn to your plant allies, right? Now, this is a season where already we see, one second, guys, we see increased pollen activity. People are getting hay fever, people are getting really bad allergies. So turn to your plant allies, right? Just let's not only work with over-the-counter medicine, right? I'm a big proponent. Yes, if you need some over-the-counter drugs or you need prescriptions, yes, take your medicine. But work with your plant allies. And with that, the caution here is make sure that whatever plant ally you're working with coincides and will agree with your whatever medication you have to take, because people out there do have to take medicine, right? So, what medicine woman, heal yourself. Sorry, guys, I'm playing with the light because all of a sudden it just. All right, I'm gonna stop mess with it. Heal yourself, right? Um, take care of your body. Take it easy, right? You're sacred. If you're pushing yourself too hard, maybe this is also a time for to slow down and really focus on self-care. So I'm getting two energies here where spirit is saying something wants to be rebirthed, bring it in, right? And also spirit is saying, but take care of yourself. So if you need a break, if you need to seriously try to use more herbal medicine in your, your practice, do so. Take baths, right? Create baths, buy bath bombs. I just am getting very much the energy here that you need to take care of self, right? You cannot take care of everybody else if you don't take care of yourself. And this year is very much heavy on the collective energy, right, of working together as a team. And really, you're only as good as your weakest link. And if no, you're not showing up fit for a fight, or if you're not showing up fit to handle what the team needs you to handle because you're burnt out, like, what's the point? So let's avoid burnout, right? Let's respect that. Let's avoid burnout. Let's not go too hard. Yes, you need to bring something into being. Yes, you need to birth something, but let's not have burnout here. All right. Coming through to clarify, whew, you are sacred. We have 5 of fire, right? So we already saw it with the spirit of fire. So this is a time where we're also going to see some conflict, okay? And maybe this is why we need to focus on self-care, because there's conflict around us. These are titans going blow for blow, right? So there's conflict here. Then we have the 3 of waters. But even though there's conflict around us, there's celebrations happening as well, right? We could potentially see end of conflict, right? End of major conflict. We could have 3 very powerful nations or 3 very powerful individuals who are coming together to help, end these conflicts. Right? And then we have, I think this is, yes, the 6 of air, right? finding balance in the world, right? Finding balance in yourself. Duality here shows self and world for me, right? It's the combination of the inner self and the outer self. And understand too that we are spiritual beings having a worldly experience. So the conflict around us could really take a toll on our body. So even if you got to just celebrate with your friends, have a good time, just to get your mind off of all the conflict that's happening around us, do so, right? And then we have the seven of air. And every time I see him, I get heavy spiritual guide energy. Like, you may have an increased spiritual activity at this time, is what I'm getting. You're getting, I think I said earlier, no, not I think, I know I said earlier, you're getting downloads, right? Having guides walk you through your Akashic record, being very much tapped in and tuned into your spiritual self at this time. I think Ostara, the energy around Ostara is coming through, is there needs to be a balance of the physical and the spiritual. And I think there needs to be this balance. I'm even getting increased, like, so if you need to start working out more, whatever that looks like for you, I feel like to balance out this increased spiritual energy that you're going to be taking on, right? The body needs to be able to handle it. So go out walking. Spring is now coming. So the cold has lessened its grip on us. So on nice days, if you can go out walking, do so. Maybe do walking meditations, but whatever it is your practice is, or whatever you start to make your practice during this time, it needs to be balanced. It needs to be balanced, okay? Clarifying. Spirit of the South. Okay. So we have three of air, studying, right? Working on your craft, studying. Because air is mental, right? And this is what I love this deck. This is what's unique about this deck. This is, it's more so focused on the etherical energetics of the elements. And the Three of Swords is coming here and it's saying study. Like, so this is a time, whatever you're working on, whatever, like study. What information do you have to gather to make sure you're on the right path, right? Double checking your contracts, um, double checking your schematics, actually, really, truly, is what I'm getting here, right? Reading over recipes, going over your cited sources if you're a writer, making sure everything is in place. But this is giving me heavily that you're studying, you're looking over the information you need to look over to make sure that you're accurate. You're about to give birth to something, you're about to create something, right? Whatever this is telling me that you're making sure that the paperwork, the three of air, it's just giving me that making sure your paperwork is right, making sure your information is right. Seven of fire is giving me, you're also doing some little witchy stuff, huh, babes? Right? You could be working, right, and studying the spiritual path. This seven of fire is giving very much sorceress, and not in a bad way. It's giving someone who is in tune with their ability to understand the unseen, right? To use the things they have, their tools, spiritual and physical, to enhance their selves, enhance their abilities. So you could be creating love baths. You could be creating beauty baths. You could be creating face masks. Like, I feel like whatever you're creating, you're also using some magic, right? For me, the serpent intones wisdom and healing, right? The dragon, the serpent intones healing and knowledge. So whatever it is, you're working on it both spiritually and physically. You're gathering the information to continue moving forward and to work on what you're doing both physically and spiritually. You're co-creating with spirit is what you're doing here with both the air and fire energy out. King of Air, you're making final decisions, right? So I do think that you're getting ready to launch something. And so the King of Air is coming through to say be prudent, read over everything, um make sure everything is as it should be. Meditate as well. I think also connecting to spirit to make sure, am I on the right path? Am I moving at the speed that I should? Am I doing the right thing? Right? Checking in. Sometimes spirit may want you to work on something and have it complete and then say, okay, sit on it for a little bit. Let's get some other things going over here. So checking in. You could be also consulting a lawyer. You could be consulting definitely a lawyer, especially if you're trying to get patents in place, right? Because I do see whatever this is, it's just not only, it's just not spiritual, right? It literally could be someone's about to launch something big for the world. So we may be getting new technology, we may be getting a new launch like that's going to be global. The world isn't here yet, but these are galactic energies, and we are looking at Ostara. We are looking at the right, the the rising sun. We're looking at the energy of creation. This is bringing in abundance. Whatever it is abundant. You're reaping the rewards, you're bringing in the rewards. If you are someone who is spiritually inclined, put some food on your altar for spirit, right? Put some flowers. This is the time I would clean your altars, right? Decorate your altars. If you got to move stuff around, but this is bringing in abundance. So for those that are launching new products, for those that are working with people collaboratively and launching new ventures, spirit's guidance is go for it, go ahead, but make sure you're checking checking all your boxes, crossing your T's, dotting your I's. If you got to speak to a lawyer, make sure you're looking at the legalities of things, but you're doing it, and spirit doesn't want you to stop. Okay? All right, spirit. Mm, yeah, yeah. Y'all seeing it. Y'all seeing this for yourselves. Mm, oh, no. Thank you. One more. Thank you. All right. So the first card that came out is the Two of Earth, right? Balance, right? Juggling multiple things, having the bandwidth to do multiple things, But I'm also getting here with this. It's also, it comes back to this giving birth energy. Spirit is saying, in order for you to create, in order for you to bring forward something, you got to make sure you're taking care of yourself, right? But you're birthing something that's going to lead to many, like one thing leads to multiple things, like, right? Like one loaf, one fish and two loaf of bread, feeding the multitude kind of energy is what I'm getting, right? um but you having the ability to take care of both, you're taking care of both your health and your spiritual well-being all at the same time, all while working on what you're working on, and like you're prioritizing is what I'm getting. Okay, very much prioritizing. So this new beginning you're calling in is saying, right, you are sacred, take care of yourself, we're prioritizing ourselves, and in prioritizing ourselves, we're prioritizing our needs or wants, right? Yeah. And the nine of air, not feeling bound, not feeling trapped, feeling free, right? And also knowing that you're divinely protected, right? You're working with spirit in this moment. You're recognizing your alchemical. You're literally recognizing that you are magic, and whatever you want, you're manifesting. So you could be doing candle magic. I see that clearly. But you're manifesting, and you recognize that it's not just about lighting a candle. You recognize you are the source. You are the source of your manifestations. And so with focused intent, you're working towards healing yourself physically, spiritually, and bringing forth this newness, this abundance to your life, right? Whatever it is you are working on may involve youth, young folks. You could be young, right? You could also be creating stuff that engages the youth as well, right? Recognizing that, as even like everybody goes through their spiritual awakening, everybody goes through their spiritual journey, and sometimes children go through it early, right? And we have a tendency at times to want to protect them. I know when I came, started waking up and started my ascension journey, my little brother, who's like, at the time, he was like 12, he started his, and I had to pull back. I had to say no, like, I was like, he's young, let at least bring him into it slowly, because I was ascending at a rapid pace and he was ascending right along with me, and I'm like, let him navigate this, almost being a preteen. And also, let's very slowly introduce him to these spiritual practices. Whereas I can handle it as an adult, right? And sometimes adults can barely handle it. I didn't want to find out if my little brother could, right? So I asked Spirit, I spoke with Spirit. I said, I know he is special. So let's wake him slowly. Let's introduce things to him slowly at your speed and in your time. But the way I was ascending, it was too much for him, and I could tell, I could see it, right? Ace of Fire. This is a new beginning. This is a new opportunity, a new venture, right? Whatever it is, you're weaving. It's like the threads of fate are weaving a new timeline. So we may see an entire shift, an entire planetary shift, because the threads of fate, they truly are weaving a new timeline. And multiple people are going to be launching multiple new ventures, multiple new opportunities, multiple people, right? We're going to see just new spiritual tools and products, even if those tools and products are literally meant for everyday mundane life. They're going to have still have purpose and still have impacts on the spiritual level, right? I see the energy of collaboration here, right? This is still an energy of collaboration. These people could be sparring, could be practicing, right? And in this energy of collaboration, you yourself, you're undergoing your own change. And this is also feeding the energy of collaboration. All right. So I'm using the Herb Crafter's Tarot, but I'm using it for the intuitive hits that I'm going to be getting, because we're talking about plant medicine and using our plant allies to guide us. All right, one more, please. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Um, we're working with our plant allies here this spring, particularly during Ostara, right? To get our manifestations that we've been working on now out of the spiritual realm into the physical realm, right? Planting those seeds and watching them grow to bear fruit. Now remember, everything isn't gonna happen in one season. Okay, some seeds that are planted in the spring bear fruit in the fall. Okay. Some seeds take a year cycle to grow and develop. So plant your seeds because it will bear fruit. But do not expect it to be on your time. Remember, we're working in divine time. As long as we do what we need to do, we will get what we need to receive in the time it is meant for us to receive it. So this is the Hiha of hair, catnip, right? This is the page of air, catnip. So you see how relaxed this cat is? Because I know catnip acts like an aphrodisiac for cats. Catnip also has a lot of other properties. I know it's good for hair growth. It has other healing properties. And so let's get the book out so we can read briefly on each plant to go a little bit deeper, right? But the page of air, the hiha of hair. So return to beginner's mind. First thought, best thought, make mischief with a sleeping cat. Right? So, first thought, best thought, right? Whatever it is we're working on, that first thought, that best thought. So, catnip may be good. Um, Grow catnip in a window pot or in a garden. Perform a tea ritual with catnip before meditation to return to a beginner's mind. And that's what I was going to say, but I wanted to make sure, and thank God they said it. You can use it as tea, right? Like they said, a tea ritual. Drink catnip. Use the medicine of catnip in tea form before going into a meditative state. It says use it to strengthen the psychic bond between you and your familiars. Craft a catnip mouse. So if you have cats, if you have pets, well, if you have cats, um, build a little sachet with catnip in it for them to play with, right? So we're inviting the world to be our teacher. So the hiha, and I know it means daughter, so I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but the hiha of air invites everything to be her teacher. She observes the cat and playfully follows her into catnip. Like this herb that grows wild through the garden, she lets the world around her inform the direction she takes. She approaches learning with innocence of a child. She may visit She may revisit a well known subject with the curiosity of a beginner. Just as catnip settles emotions with its refreshing medicine, she sets her feelings aside and communicates her observations and questions clearly. So it's like go back to the beginning. And I think that's what I got over here, right? With the three of air. Like, don't, just because you're a subject matter expert doesn't mean you can't go back to the beginning and look at a process, right? Or look at something you're doing and just take in the new things you're discovering, right? Every time you read something or every time you look over something, you're going to discover something new. So embrace that energy, because it's in that energy that your ideas, the creations that want to come out, they're going to come, right? um Mushroom, the tower, right? We got that energy with the fire, right? It says the tower. What does the tower do? The tower breaks down foundations that are no longer serve purposes, no longer serves any purpose, so that something new can be rebuilt. And what we look at mushrooms, right? They're edible, some aren't, but they're fungus that grows from decay. Mushrooms grow from decay. So, like the phoenix, like we said, right? The phoenix dies and then is reborn. So much like the phoenix, the mushroom is reborn, and that's what you're doing for yourself, right? It says, let tragedy nourish the soil of rebirth. Everything is food for growth. Be liberated by your acceptance of profound change. And that's the one thing I always say, guys. I take lessons, not losses. Everything is a learning lesson. Everything is a lesson. What are we learning? What is this situation teaching us? What do I need to take away from this? Everything. That's why Spirit is saying with the hee ha of air, go back to the beginning. When the situation started, what did you learn from it, right? Go back to that first draft. What did you change in the first draft that you're going to bring back to the final product, right? Towers are not bad things. Towers are actually here for our good. When a tower comes in, it means that the structure we have right now is unsupported and something new must be brought in. Towers are painful, but it's through growing through the lesson and alchemizing what we have learned and applying what we've learned, because we keep going back, we keep revisiting, we keep reviewing, right? We keep refocusing. By doing that, we come out of this successful, right? The next one we have is the devil, blackberry, right? Even the devil has purpose, right? What are you, oh, look at that, 16, 15. What are you tied to that you feel like if I lose this, I lose everything? It says, sweet berries, sharp brambles, beware. To get to what you want, right? You're gonna have to face them sharp brambles. But the reward is satisfying. The reward is delicious. To get to this delicious blackberry pie, you had to face these brambles, right? Let awareness awaken the power of choice. Break free of the desires that keep you trapped. Trust me, you have a choice, and the tower comes through to clear up some what's the word I'm looking for, Spirit? Some misconceived notions that we ain't got choices in this world. Trust me, we have choices. Society tells us we don't. Society forces us in this matrix system. I hate using that cliche term, but society does build a system around us in which we have to live, have to work, have to survive. And when you recognize that I can create my own path, then brambles is worth getting to the fruit. Those lessons are worth getting to the final product. Following this cat and going back to the beginning is worth doing that, right? And then the Ace of Water, planting. And if planting comes out, guys, that's some beautiful, beautiful thing, right? Follow your heart. Trust your instincts and intuition. Your capacity for love is limitless. New experiences can cause a wellspring of feelings, right? Open your heart to spiritual guidance. Take a fresh look at an ancient calling of soul. Planting is a prolific yet powerful medicine that is easily missed. To embody the love you desire, you may need to see it in a new light. Mixed with a bit of water, this unassuming weed gently heals wounds from bites and stings. A simple, compassionate approach to a surge of emotions can have the most meaning. Small strings form a rib-like structure within the leaves that give it strength. Nourish your emotions and trust your feelings. The threads of joy point the way to wisdom. Trust your intuition. Trust what you're feeling. Trust that gut instinct that's coming through to tell you you gotta go left. Trust that I gotta pivot energy, right? Ostara, the energy that's coming to us, this Ostara, this new spring, this new seasonal year, is that take the lessons that we have learned from this prior year and go forward and plant the seeds. Plant our seeds of success, plant our seeds of manifestation. Go back to the beginning. Take a closer look. You're never to experience to go back to source one, to someone, to zero count. Because it's in the reviewing of the beginning and working your way up to where you are now, you're going to see the lessons and you're going to learn how to pivot. And you're also going to heal the wounds, right? Because at the end of this, success is yours. So be balanced. The celebration will happen. You will be successful. It takes time and patience, but it takes work. Ostara is saying, let's get to work. All right, this has been your message. Ashe, y'all.